Welcome to the Litany of Catholic Martyrs for September 9th. As Catholics, we are assured of a constant thread of over 2,000 years of tradition and moral teaching. Within this thread are those who have sacrificed their lives through the shedding of their blood for the faith and Holy Mother Church. On this day, we remember these martyrs in whom, through their sacrifice, have aided in the growth and the stability of the Holy Catholic Church. As Catechism 2473 states, martyrdom is a supreme witness given to the truth of the faith. It means bearing witness even unto death. The martyr bears witness to Christ who died and rose, to whom he is united by charity. He bears witness to the truth of the faith and Christian doctrine. He endures death through an act of fortitude. Quote, "Let me become the food of the beast, through whom it will be given me to reach God." Unquote. I offer this story by the Venerable Bishop Fulton Sheen. He explained that when the communists took over China, they imprisoned a priest in his own rectory near the church. After being locked up in his own house, the priest looked out the window and was horrified to see the communists enter the church. Once inside, they went into the sanctuary, broke open the tabernacle, and in a hateful act of desecration, threw down the ciborium, scattering the host on the floor. The priest knew exactly how many hosts had been in the ciborium, 32. When the communists left, they either didn't notice or didn't pay any attention to a small girl praying in the back of the church who saw everything. Excuse me. That night, she returned, and slipping past the guard at the rectory, entered the church where she made a holy hour, perhaps of reparation for the desecration she witnessed of the Blessed Sacrament. After her holy hour, she went into the sanctuary and, kneeling down, she bent over and received Jesus in the Holy Communion with her tongue, since it was not permissible at that time for laymen to touch the sacred host with their hands. Each night the girl returned to the church to make her holy hour and receive Jesus in Holy Communion on her tongue, just as she did the first night. On the 32nd night, the night for the last host, after having consumed it, she accidentally made a noise that awoke the guard, who was asleep at his post by the priest's residence. From his bedroom window, the priest could only watch in horror as the heart-rending scene unfolded before his eyes. The girl tried to run away, but the guard caught up with her, and with the butt of his rifle, sent her to the Lord through the gift of martyrdom. The following is a list of those the Church asks us to remember this day. As always, please pray for those who have loved ones who were martyred on Easter Sunday in Sri Lanka. At Nicomedia, the holy martyrs Dorotheus and Gorgonius, the greatest honors had been conferred on them by the Emperor Diocletian. But as they detested the cruelty which he exercised against the Christians, they were, by his order, suspended in his presence and lacerated with whips, then their skin being torn from their bodies, and vinegar with salt poured over them. They were burned on a gridiron and finally strangled. After some time, the body of Blessed Gorgonius was brought to Rome and deposited on the Latin Road. Thence it was transferred to the Basilica of St. Peter. Among the Sabines, 30 miles from Rome, the holy martyrs Hyacinthus, Alexander, and Terbuzius. At Sebaste, St. Severian, a soldier of the Emperor Licinius, frequently visiting the 40 martyrs whilst they were in prison, he was suspended in the air with a stone tied to his feet by order of the governor Lysias, and being scourged and torn with whips, yielded up his soul in the midst of his torments. On the same day, St. Straton, who ended his martyrdom for Christ by being tied to 2 trees and torn to pieces. My goodness. Also the holy martyrs Rufinus and Rufinian brothers. At Rome, St. Sergius, Pope and Confessor. In the territory of Terune, one moment, I don't like to mess up these. Terune, St. Omar Bishop, In Ireland, St. Kieran Abbot. And finally, at Cartagena in South America, St. Peter Claver, confessor of the Society of Jesus, who labored with wonderful self-abnegation and great charity among the Negro slaves for more than 40 years, and baptized personally almost 30,000 of them. He was canonized by order of Pope Leo XIII. These are the men, women, and children we honor today. Please remember them as you go through your day, and when presented with the situation to defend the faith, act as these men, women, and children did.